Hey guys, I got a text yesterday from a doctor friend in Canada, and she said, Ramsey Paul, your prediction came true. There was twerking at a political campaign, a presidential campaign. And actually, I predicted one day a presidential candidate will be on stage twerking, maybe waving a spear. Ooh-yah, ooh-yah, ooh-yah. It's just bound to happen, but we're getting there. And yes, Kamala Harris, she had an exciting concert. All the media is just creaming themselves over it. Oh, feel the energy. And it was some rapper, I don't know these people. Megan the Stallion was out there shaking her ass, doing nursery rhymes, that rhymey style. And it got them all excited. And this is supposed to prove that Kamala has the vibe. She's a brat. She's a messy bitch. And the Republicans are weird. I think that's what they're trying to go with. And just a little bit about this. So, well, we'll take a look. There's Savannah, and I want to show her she was on the site. I think she's with TP USA. She did an excellent short vid. We're going to watch it real briefly here.
Hey guys, this is Savannah reporting to you from inside of Kamala Harris's rally, which just wrapped up. Now you guys saw all of the footage, and there was actually a lot of energy for her in the building. Almost every single seat was filled, not every single one. But many people are questioning, well, were they here to see Kamala, or were they here because Quavo, Meg Thee Stallion were here, and it was essentially a giant concert?
So basically what they had a free concert in Atlanta with people I don't know. I guess they're rappers. And usually concerts are very expensive. So, hey, come here, you get a free concert, and then Kamala speaks. That was the deal. And I think this venue seats around 8,000 people, which is it's a good size, but that's kind of like the overflow for the Trump rallies.
I'm going to be honest, guys. People started leaving about 15 minutes after she started speaking, which was kind of notable to me because, this is her first presidential rally in Georgia. And so I thought people would have wanted to listen to her. And then also, she really only spoke for about 30 minutes, I would say. So it was a very, very short speech, but people couldn't make it through it. I kept seeing streams of people continuously leave, and I was like, well, maybe it's the one-off person. But then I started seeing people leave from every single level, and I was like, okay, maybe there is a little bit of truth to people having come here to see the performances. I don't know how many were here just for Kamala.
Yeah, I doubt hardly anyone was there for just Kamala. Just so you understand how these things work, is the Democrats, they get a lot of money. They're supported by the elite, the billionaires. They have a huge campaign fund. And I looked into this, and I read someone, they paid, they had about 1,000 what they call influencers that they paid $500 to show up at this concert. So you get a free concert, plus you get paid $1,000, $500. And if you hold a sign, because they have signs for them, they'll give you another 150. And if you should score an interview, you get a $250 bonus. So, and again, this is, and then the rest of the people, how many were there? Yeah, I want to see Kamala speak versus I want to see my favorite black rapper speak and shake her ass for free. I don't know. But it does sound like people were starting to stream out once Kamala was speaking. So you have to question why they were there. Having said that, though, I'm sure that 99% of the people there would have voted for Kamala. And but this gets into the whole enthusiasm question, and does this really move the needle on elections? And how the elections work in the United States, I think most of you know this, is based on state. And there's certain states that it don't really matter because you know how the state's going to vote even before it happens. Like, I'm in Arkansas, this state is going to vote for Trump. There's no one's going to campaign here in Arkansas because everyone knows that. It's still a very white state, a lot of white voters. California, for example, is a huge state. They have the most electoral votes. You think people would campaign in California, but no one does. Everyone gave up on California because of immigration and demographic replacement. Whites are in a minority there. There's no way the Republicans are winning that state. And I guess this is sort of the black pill because of immigration and pouring people from the third world into the United States, it's getting harder and harder for Republicans to win states because minority groups, they kind of gang up on Whitey to try to get their stuff. Eventually, it will bring down the nation. You'll see the Supreme Court being changed, and that there won't be the First Amendment or Second Amendment. It will be like Venezuela. I don't want to be black pill, but unless radical changes happen, that's what's going to happen. So states no longer go from blue, meaning left-wing states, to red. That just doesn't happen. They go red to blue. That's why they're always talking about, when will Texas eventually go blue? Probably not this cycle, but it will. And at that point, the Republicans can never win a presidential election again. So that's kind of the black pill. But currently, that's not the case. And there's a handful of states that will decide the election, because it could go either way. And these states include Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Nevada, Georgia potentially, and a few other states. These are called the Battleground States. So the strategy for both Trump and Kamala is to win these states. And there comes the whole question, what do rallies really show? Do they really show the candidate's going to get the votes or not? Well, a rally measures enthusiasm, but enthusiasm doesn't necessarily translate into you winning the election. Just because you have the most enthusiastic voters, that's nice, but there's a lot of people that aren't enthusiastic that are still going to vote against you. And we saw that in 2020. Joe Biden, he couldn't get 35 people to a rally. He spent most of it in the basement, part of it because he was even senile back then. But you could say the Democrats did some shenanigans too, but it was still a very close election. Trump had stadiums of 20,000 people supporting him. Biden, no one. Biden had no enthusiasm behind him. But it didn't really matter because so many people wanted to vote against Trump and other reasons. So enthusiasm doesn't necessarily translate into improving your position in the polls, because there's basically three ways that you can try to win the election in these battleground states. One way is to try to get the undecided voter, and there are quite a few of these people. These are people that are typically not very political. So they're not in a left-wing echo chamber. They don't follow left-wing content like Vosh or Destiny. They don't even know who those guys are. And they don't follow right-wing people. They wouldn't know who Ramsey Paul is. They probably haven't heard of Megyn Kelly. They just don't care about shit like that. These type of people, they tend to vote based mostly on the economy, maybe crime, stuff that impacts them day to day. They don't really care about foreign affairs. They don't care about abstract principles or anything like that. They care about this sort of thing. And they also care about a candidate they think is going to be somewhat reasonable. They don't want anyone too radical on either the left or the right. This is why both candidates, typically in an election, the Republicans, they tend to move to the left, trying to act more liberal. And the Democrats, they try to, oh, no, we're not really that liberal. We're pretty conservative. And we're going to see Kamala do this too. She's already backed off, like on being opposed to fracking. And she's going to try to present herself as more moderate, not the extremist leftist we saw in the Senate. So that's typical, because you don't want to scare that middle voter. And that helped with even Joe Biden, I think, in 2020, because a lot of people in this middle that didn't really follow politics are like, I'm just tired of all this chaos, all these riots. They didn't know who was really pushing these riots. But, we get someone like Joe Biden. Joe Biden has been around forever. He doesn't seem that radical. He's just like he's got that grandpa vibe. So maybe he'll just we just need a time to chill in America, right? Get a guy in that's just going to be moderate. We need that time to heal in America. Well, that never happened. The people that Biden surrounded himself around him were the most radical extremists in American history. The Biden regime is extreme. And so that never happened, but that's how the middle people voted. So a concert like this doesn't really impact the middle people, just because there's some Africans out there doing twerking on stage. That's not that's not going to fire them up. That fires up the base, specifically the black base, to get out and vote. And so this is another way you can try to win these battleground states, is to get your base fired up to go out to vote. Because the dirty secret is voting is still mostly a white person thing. Civic-minded people tend to be white. So even though the population of the United States is, 57% white, it keeps going down. But the people that vote, the percentage of people that vote is still like 70%, because a lot of people of color, they don't really care. They don't have a stake in this country. This is a place to get money out of. They don't really care about voting. So for the Democrats, this is always an issue, is how do you get these people to go out and vote? Because a lot of these people that were at the Megan Thee Stallion concert to see Megan shaking her ass, they're going to go out to a free concert, but are they going to take the time to vote? Probably not. And, if someone polled them who you're going to support, Kamala or Trump, they're going to say Kamala, but are they going to translate in to get it off their ass and voting? Now, the Democrats, how they've overcome this to quite a degree in 2020 is they do what's called ballot harvesting. And ballot harvesting is not necessarily illegal. It depends on the state and depends how many votes you get. But basically, this is going to someone's house, let's say a person of color's house. They're not going to be bothered to go out and vote because whatever. And you just say, hey, you don't have to do anything here. Just put your vote here. I'll drop this vote in for you. And this is how probably Biden won in 2020 through ballot harvesting. And you're going to see a lot of this because a lot of these people can't be bothered to go to the polling booth and vote. So if they can get a bigger percent of their people out to vote, they think this could move it in their direction. And so that's other ways to energize your base. It does have some impact. And then finally, another strategy is to demoralize the Republican base. For example, you get influencers on the Republican side saying stuff, oh, it doesn't really matter. Trump is a Zionist. Oh, look at his candidate Vance. Oh, he's a globalist. He's tied into Peter Thiel. And no, it's just a disaster. I can't support Trump. I'm just going to have to sit this one out. Oh, and he's married to an Indian. What's the point? Let's just just another neocon. And J.D. Vance, he wears eyeliner. The Democrats he is weird. And, Kamala's a brat. And as a hot, messy bitch, I can relate to that. So you get the influencers saying stuff like this. Say, just stay home, don't vote. And I'm not supporting Kamala, but, why vote for Trump? So that's another way. So that's trying to decrease or demoralize your side. And it's also the divide and conquer strategy they're using with white women, because mostly white women will vote for Republicans. So they're trying to divide and conquer strategy. I see it all the time, and it's been pretty effective. So again, what they're going to try to do, their strategy, is position Kamala as a moderate, not an extremist communist. They're trying to scrub her history with that. Then they're trying to energize their vote. And, will it be energized? I don't know. I think they're still going to have to do a lot of the ballot harvesting. And they're trying to demoralize what would be the Trump vote. So this is their strategy going forward. We'll have to see if it's going to be effective. Again, these specific concerts, the fact that people attended this concert and then they saw Kamala, and the fact that they walked out when she started to talk, it doesn't mean they hate Kamala. They don't give a shit about this sort of thing. They wanted a free concert. And if someone tries to harvest a ballot from them, shows up their house, they'll probably vote for Kamala. But I don't see them getting off their ass that they used to twerk with to actually get to the voting booth. They're not going to do that. So that's how you have to look at these type of events. Talk to you guys later.